Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Renee tried to interview Swerve, and Nana's screaming at him and storms off. And Swerve says, I'm not doing an interview, I'm looking for your husband. So he starts storming down the hall, and Hangman shows up, and he says, you're wasting your time. So a bunch of security runs up to break him up, and they start screaming at each other, and Hangman says, I made a promise. You were never going to hold that world title again. I'm a man of my word. And Swerve screams, you got to just move on. And Hangman screams, you broke into my home. And Swerve says, you burned my house down. And Hangman says, you deserved it. And Swerve says, I know. And Hangman says, what did you just say? Swerve said, I said I know. And Hangman stares at him and then storms off. So
I don't want to see them as a team. I
don't know if they're going to be a team, but I think Hangman may have forgiven him.
Yeah, well.
I thought this moment was awesome.
It was an interesting moment. I just feel that there's juice left in that one. People really wanted to see them go against each other for a long time. And then to end it, I don't know. I mean, I have seen, the guys who are feuding with each other ending up as a tag team always happens. Always. So it's like it's the inevitable. It is the inevitable. But I just feel it's too early for that. That's all. And some people don't even want it at all. It's like sometimes, like Austin McMahon, which because there's so much hatred, like when they actually got back together, they got together. Nobody wanted it. And this one, like, I just don't feel that people want them to be a team. But, it could be wrong. Like I said, inevitably in wrestling history, everyone who feuds does get together and ends up teaming. But and I always figured that would happen here. Just I feel there's months of juice left in this one. That's all.
Swerve keeps looking for Moxley, and he gets jumped by the Death Riders, and they throw him in a big glass plane or a pane of glass or something. Take him down to the ring, destroy this guy 5-on-1. He's got no friends. They pour the glass into the middle of the ring. Claudio lifts him up, gives him the Ricola bomb into the glass. Bunch of holy shit chants. So Moxley tells his guys, let's get going. They get out of the ring, they jump the barricade, and then Swerve does the Undertaker zombie sit-up, and he stares him down, and Moxley sells it like he's gotten to. And he tells the crew to keep walking, and Swerve's there with allegedly glass in his back. I think they might have had some plastic this week. And he's smiling and laughing. And I thought this was a very good go-home show.
I thought that the closing segment was very well done. Yeah.
So that brings us to the pay-per-view Sunday. And the full lineup is Toni Storm, Megan Bayne for the AEW Women's title. Moxley and Swerve for the world title. Kenny Omega, Ricochet, and Mike Bailey, three-way for the international title. Wheeler, Pac, and Claudio against Cope, Dax, and Cash. We got Jericho versus Bandito, mask versus title. We got
which they never even brought up during the show.
Not this one.
Yeah.
They did on Collision.
Yeah.
We got Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole, no time limit, no interference for the TNT title. Hurt Syndicate versus Big Bill and Brian Keith. Will Ospreay and Kevin Knight in a tournament match. Mercedes and Julia in a tournament match. And the Ops will be there.
Yeah.
For one reason or another.
Yeah. I mean, AEW pay-per-views are usually really, really good. Actually usually great. But, I mean, like I look at the lineup, they're coming a few weeks after that last one. And, I mean, that last one lineup-wise was a stronger lineup. This one is interesting because it's, Cole and Garcia is like one of those matches that's going to kind of like in the make or break thing. Like if they tear the house down, it'll probably be a great show because the Omega match with Ricochet and Bailey is going to be great. Moxley and Swerve will be what it is. It's going to be a death match. I mean, of some form. It's going to be gross. But that's, that going in. Toni Storm, Megan Bayne, man, I don't know. That's, I mean, I think that they put it together well. Toni Storm's super over. But I'm not. I don't know. Ospreay Kevin Knight is like I said, it's a giant match for Kevin Knight. Trios title, probably an angle coming out of that. Tag team title. I mean, I guess the only I figure Brian Keith loses. I mean, that's kind of like what everybody would expect. I think the key is, do they sell big for Bill or not? And I think that's the only interesting thing in the match is how do they sell for Bill's hot tag? And what else do we got? Mercedes and Julia Hart. We'll see. I mean, it'd be like that's. I'm not sure on that one. It could be good. Yeah. I mean, am I leaving something out? I think I got all of it.
If you love this show, you should consider signing up at WrestlingObserver.com. WrestlingObserver.com has every show that we have ever done. Over 15,000 podcasts in the archives, dating back to 2005. Searchable by show, searchable by year. Perhaps the first show you ever watched was 2008 WrestleMania? Well, you can head into the archives and you can find the podcast we did, all built around the 2008 WrestleMania. Every major show, whether it be WWE, AEW, we covered it all. 15,000 archived shows at WrestlingObserver.com. Also, when you subscribe, you get full access to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's a new Observer every Friday. And on top of that, we have thousands and thousands of archived issues of the Observer dating back to 1991. So again, WrestleMania 2008. Go to the archives, search WrestleMania 2008, read all of the issues surrounding that show. Of course, Wrestling Observer newsletter, 40,000 words of news and information on pro wrestling and mixed martial arts every single week. New issue comes out every Friday. New back issue comes out every Monday. You also get the discussion board. One of the best discussion boards on the internet. It's members only. If you're going to troll, well, you got to pay to troll, and there aren't too many of those. And if you cause too much trouble, you're out of there. So if you want a great place to discuss professional wrestling, it is the board. Also available as a subscriber at WrestlingObserver.com. The whole package, all of the new shows, all of the archived shows, all of the new issues of The Observer, all of the archived editions of the newsletter, all of the past episodes of Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, The Brian and Vinny Show, Figure 4 Daily, Filthy 4 Daily, The Board, all of it, just $14.99 per month. The full shebang, and you can save a lot of money getting an annual subscription. A full year, you basically get 2 months free. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, everything you'll ever need as a fan of professional wrestling. Check it out today at 4WOnline.com.